Dozens of trees that were red tagged to be cut down in West Oakland BART are safe, at least for the time being, and that's all thanks to this video right here.
Right now. So look, this tree right here, that tree, all of these down there, these trees right here, they all marked with this paper right here. And it's basically saying that they're going to cut these trees down because the owner said they're going to cut them down.
Mandela BART Station is set to have a major housing development project that will completely change what the station looks like. It'll take out 451 parking spots, and in its place will be 760 housing units, 240 which will be affordable housing. And underneath that, they'll have some retail shops along with some offices. Even though the project got some attention over time, a number of residents in the area said they never heard from developers or the city when it came to cutting down those 70+ trees. But to the residents I talked to in West Oakland, they said they hadn't heard about cutting down the trees until they saw the trees were tagged just a few weeks ago.
They want to cut this tree down. You see this? It's not happening. We can't go for that one, bro. Look at this, bro. This tree right here is fruits in here. You can eat these right here. My bro Rico put me onto that. This one by Lake Merritt. Look, bro. 67. I mean, they have 67 trees that they plan on cutting down on this street. Maybe this is the whole street. The property owner, whoever that is. We gotta call this, bro.
In that video from Loove Moore, an artist and West Oakland resident, is what changed everything. And even though he's been credited as a big reason why these trees have been saved in the first place, he told me that he felt like he's being overlooked in some ways. So I decided to meet up with him myself at Mandela Station and get the info straight from the source. The reason why we brought it together, though, is because of the video you posted, right? That brought a lot of attention. Can you just tell us about that video and just kind of like what you noticed when you first saw these tags on these trees?
I mean, well, I posted a video about the trees, seeing that they're gonna be removed. The first time I seen them was on Saturday. I did a Men Unity hike in the Joaquin Miller with the Redwoods and did a speech about how we're gonna learn from the trees and the mycelium network that connects all the trees and how they share nutrients and resources. And we need to create a system that supports us in that way. And then coming down here, just coming locally to Mandela Grocery right out front, I was with one of the owners and he was like, man, what's this tag? And we seen it and we kind of just talked about it and filmed it, but kind of left it that day because I had a lot of things to film and post on my platform. So the next day I was coming because Mandela Grocery opens on Sundays now, you know, and that was something I was looking forward to, just to come down and support. And then on the way I seen the post over here. So I'm like, oh, this one says 7. The last one I seen said 70, you know, the other day. So it started clicking to me. And in that moment, it was just like, oh, nah, like, this can't happen, you know? So I used my platform to just raise awareness because on both sides of the street, it said the owners. And we didn't know, like, who's the owner? Who owns this side of the street? Who owns the other side of the street? Like, it was just, that was the blindsided aspect, you know, that we didn't know exactly what the process was happening. So that was my opportunities for us to get some answers.
And so you, like you said, you were just at an event celebrating nature, right? Celebrating life. And then we come in here, we see where they're trying to take it down, right? For a project that's being sold as something good for this area, something that's supposed to beautify it, has a lot of affordable housing. But obviously taking down trees is usually trees are usually planted to make things better, right? To like beautify the neighborhood, right? But seeing it being chopped down is kind of hypocritical in my eyes. But for you, what is, I guess, your first emotion when you saw that these trees were happening and that potentially be cut down?
I mean, the first thing is just getting cut down. You know, it's like if you plant these trees are planted with a plan to grow and beautify the neighborhood and be something for this space. And right when they're starting to grow and find their ability to mature, they're getting chopped down. So that right there just symbolizes what it feels like kind of growing up out here sometimes, you know, in America and just in the world. Most likely it's just trying to grow, trying to be yourself. Right when you kind of get the ball rolling and get some steam, it seems like, dang, I'm trying to get my footing again. I only could grow so much that's comfortable for everybody else in the area. You know, it's like I want to be able to grow to my fullest and not get chopped down. So that's like the initial feeling that it gives you. But you know, since that moment, I've communicated. You know, right when I posted that, 20 minutes later, the council member called me and it's like, I'm gonna get on this, you know, and send it to the people I need to send it to. And then I ended up connecting with the main developer. So that's kind of where we at right now.
So you worked with a council member. Who was that specifically?
The council member was Carol Fife.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And so how did she help you in this process, and how did it change from just posting a video, right? Because a lot of views doesn't necessarily always create change, right? But actually having a council member reach out to you and actually wanted to do something with that. So how did she help that process, and how did that happen in general?
I mean, ultimately, I have a platform. You know, once one thing goes viral, that's going viral. But when you go viral multiple times, that's a platform. You know, now you have a voice. You have to be responsible with that voice. And as my voice is growing and it's being heard, you know, you have to find ways to adjust that in the city. And from that, you know, my number is found. I was reached, I was contacted, and with Carol Fife reaching out, I just think that was just her way of being responsible to just get to the source of the source. She's aware of my voice and my platform. So before things maybe got out of hand or got, you know, misunderstood, that was her way of coming in and making sure she got the right people on the line. So that was part of the process. I just so happened to be the missing system within the missing gap within the system, you know. So that's basically what's happening right now. Is just that integration of new systems and new ways of platforming and new ways of getting messages out and new ways of rolling out and taking control of your own narrative.
And so one thing that you talked about specifically adding to that point is like, it shouldn't have been you. You said, even though you got a big following, obviously you got, you know, a big influence in the city, but you said it shouldn't have been you addressing these problems, right? A lot of people should have known about these problems way beforehand, right?
Yeah,
Not that it's not to take away anything,
no,
you know what I mean? But I know you said that this should have been something that the city's known about before social media videos, right?
No, what my biggest thing was, once it was, yes, the system, there should be a system in place that knows how to roll out things in a way that the community will, you know, that's a smooth transition. That should be a thing, you know, but that's an updated system. The main issue that I had was that when stories did come out, my voice wasn't the one that they wanted to represent. They wanted to talk to everybody else first when I was the main person that spoke on the situation. So that's why I respect you for tapping in and wanting to learn the story direct from the source, because I'm not here for confusion. I'm not trying to villainize any side. I'm not trying to villainize the people trying to bring something to this area. If their intentions are beautiful and good, I'm not trying to villainize the community for being able to stop a project to say, hey, our community, we have to live here and we want to make sure that it's done right. And considering all things that need to be considered, I think that's just the system. That's just the hole in the system that I'm just feeling. And the biggest thing is just getting support for that. I'm just one man building my platform by myself, you know, coming out here meeting with the media. And I just want people in the community to see that too. Just like how I seen a hole in the system and needed support, I wish people could see me in that same way. And like, hey, this guy needs support because he has a voice, he has something to say, and what he's doing is important. And that's literally what this represents. It's representing like, hey, this thing is important. Just because you think it's small, it doesn't matter. No, everything matters to somebody, and we gotta respect it.
And so we know this area like didn't have a grocery market. You said you just came from, you know, Community Foods. That was any type of market they've had in West Oakland, like the only one that's remaining here,
Mandela
right?
Grocery, yep.
Right, and so it's like a lot of this part of the city gets forgotten about, overlooked, right? Mm-hmm. And it's even getting gentrified in a lot of areas. We've seen the dynamics change, right? And so this project in general, it's being kind of painted as something that's good for the area, good for the city, right? Mm-hmm. Cutting down trees is never good in any type of aspect, especially when they're not talking about replanting these trees, right? So for you just feel like this is like another sign that the people of West Oakland, you know, specifically it's like the last remaining like black community almost in Oakland besides parts of the east. It's like, do you feel like this happened because the community is often overlooked or forgot about, or, you know, kind of disrespected in a certain way?
I mean, I think that's why my voice was so powerful, that they didn't know that it was somebody here in this area that could speak for this area and have a platform. You know, once some of the news articles got out, I still use my platform to post those things because I may have more coverage and more connection to the community to get those messages out. Like I said, it's not for confusion. I'm not here for confusion or to villainize anybody. It's just being able to have a system that works for us, because as you grow and as you are someone that people invest in and hope that, you know, we are role models or public figures for people, then we need those people to be professional. We need those people to have their shit together, you know, and we hold people accountable to that because people have put themselves in those positions. They asked to be in those positions. So when you ask yourself to be in those positions, then we have expectations from those positions. So that's really it. You know, I think it is Oakland, and West Oakland is a food desert. We don't have a lot of resources, but it's a lot of rich culture here with, you know, with Esther's and just 7th Street. And just this whole area itself is just full of culture, and this, we are very aware that this section right here, where it's positioned in the Bay Area and the position in the world, this is the blueprint for a lot of things that they try to test in the world. If it gets past us, and then the rest of the world is gonna be exactly how they paint this out, you know? So what we wanna do is make sure that we're responsible with our gift, with our growing, and our traditions and the things that have already made us work in society. And that's one thing that Oakland has. We have a system and a way of community that already has been proven to work and keep us together and learn how to live tranquil. So it's illusion of it's only black people, it's only white people, it's only, you know, Mexicans and Hispanics and all these different races, but no, there's a melting pot of us out here. That's the word that we hear growing up in the Bay Area. It's always a lot of different people. It's a lot that come together for the same cause, and we are about unity and supporting our community. And when things get hard, we don't want to turn on each other. We want to turn to the system that's beneficial, that's made for us to learn how to, when things get hard, okay, these are systems that support us so we can bear through this. And once we get through that, then, you know, it's beneficial for all, not just a few.
Exactly. So one of the last things I asked you is about, you know, obviously Carol Fife worked with you. Oakland side is like crediting you directly for the reason why this permit has been paused, right? That the trees aren't going to be cut down, at least for right now. Mm-hmm. So what does it mean to you to know that, you know, you had that impact and this area in general, knowing that these trees could stay based on the video you made?
I mean, I think it's dope. I mean, I got hope for the world because I know that I can affect the world, you know? So right now they're trying to call me the Oakland Lorax, you feel me? And I never even seen the Lorax until it came this moment, you know? But when I see that movie, the whole movie basically is about them chopping all the trees down in this world and then replacing it with plastic trees and plastic plants. And then they're selling people air because trees are the things that give people air. So now they bottling up air and selling it, you know? So that's what it feels like it could be, you know? And that's where I feel like a lot of the conversation is traveling globally, you know? Because there's people that's in Africa saying, man, I'm in Africa, I'm still gonna call, you know? But, and at the same time, Oakland, like you said, it's been a desert out here. We need though we do have our thriving community of like Chef Green down the street cooking, and you know, you have Mandela Grocery, or even on the corner this beauty school, learn how to cut hair and stuff, and we're vibrant. We have a lot of things going on here still in this community, but even like Chef Green, he's on the corner with his tent, he's growing, you know, but we want to see more vendor markets where our culture is celebrated. And if we could do that in a tranquil way, then let's do it. And let's find that process, because that will be something beautiful and thriving for us in our community. But don't do something for our community without our community. And sometimes there's a disconnect between people's capabilities. And that's where I come in at. That's why I'm just being the glue and playing my role. But we need to actually have systems that support like someone like me and these new people around the world, that's new media or new systems. So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
So last question I got for you is just, what does this area Oakland mean to you, and what does the city in general mean to you?
Well, Oakland mean to me, man, mean everything to me. I think Oakland has shown me so many things. For me being from Oakland, West Oakland, Acorn, and then living in San Leandro and going to school out there and going to school in Tracy, it gave me a good perspective of Oakland and a great respect for Oakland. It's always somebody outside. If you learn purpose in Oakland. You know, I seen somebody online say, man, I want to move back to Oakland because it's always something to do. But I'm pretty sure whatever you could do in Oakland, you could do it wherever you're at right now. But the thing about Oakland is that it gives you a sense of purpose. Just like me, I'm walking down the street, just because I seen the trees coming down, I'm like, oh man, now I have a sense of purpose. You know, I think that's what Oakland does. There's so many things going on that could be hidden around the world in our societies, but Oakland wears it out on its sleeve. And we address those things directly. So we don't act like things aren't happening, it's not happening. You feel me? So it's just like that. This.
Do any of y'all got a charging block?
Not right now. We just doing the interview.
Doing the interview, bro.
Oh shit. Okay. My bad. Sorry for interrupting.
It's all love, bro. Stay up. Have a blessing,
Yep,
bro.
me too.
But I mean, that's just literally what I mean. Like, when you're out here, you're gonna experience something. So it's gonna make you feel some type of way. You have to either show up to rise to the occasion, or you fall back. But that still will make you develop yourself as a person. So that's what Oakland is. It makes you think about yourself in different ways and think about your world in different ways. And we hold ourselves accountable, and we don't enable people. So, in whole, as in general. So, yeah.
Yeah, right on. Any last things you want to say? Just about the trees, you know, this project, Carol Fife helping out, just anything in general?
What I want to say is, you know, we just need, we're in the phase where we are learning how to integrate our systems together. So right now, yes, with the city, with the developers, with the community, with our leaders, we're all finding ways to integrate and be on a new system, creating new systems. So we have in our body the respiratory system, we have our digestive system, we have our nervous system. These are all separate systems. Just like BART is a system, just like the city of Oakland is a system, just like AC Transit is a system. But the thing about our body is that all those systems work together. You know, so that's when those systems all work together, we have a dope functioning body that's one of the most beautiful creations ever existed. So that's what we need to do with our societies. We have all these different systems that are not working together, but that's what I'm here to be, is that person that connects all these different systems together, and so that we can work as a full body together in a tranquil way. So I'm looking forward to this moment being that for us, and being an example for the rest of the country and the rest of the world on how we integrate and not gentrify.
That was dope. What you think, baby? Anything else we should add?
Any other questions? What does success look like for the Oakland Lorax?
What does success look like for what?
The Oakland Lorax, what does it look like?
What does success look like for the Oakland Lorax? I mean, what I think success is saving as many trees in this situation as possible. If there's some trees that are dying or need care, then we need to cater to that. If there's some native trees to this area that would be more beneficial to this area, we need to, you know, go with that plan, because though I would love to have trees here when I'm alive in my lifetime, you know, me experience it, I think that's the unselfishness that we need to have, is for our future generations to be able to say, hey, let's set y'all up for the future then, if that's what we're doing. But I want to make sure that we actually execute that plan and not give us like a little oasis, fake little hologram for a second, and then, all right, we're gonna do our real plan. So that's the main thing that will be success to me, if we have a real foolproof plan for our communities to integrate, and it actually gets seen all the way through and honored.
That was dope. Anything else? That was dope. Bro, I appreciate you.
So despite all the community pushback, it's still uncertain how this thing will pan out. The tree removal process being paused is a big step, but this is a huge project. And I'm not so sure that these developers are going to let some trees stop their plans. But hey, I guess, who knows? It sounds like Loove Moore and others from the community will continue to meet with these city leaders, specifically Carol Fife, and find a good middle ground for continuing the project while also only keeping these trees alive.